Wonderful, wonderful color.
Walt Disney presents
The wonderful world of color.
our program this week from Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color, The Mooncussers, Part 1, Graveyard of Ships. And now your host, Walt Disney.
One of the most splendid of all sights is a big full moon. It can be seen from any place on Earth, and it's free. Now, you'd think that people everywhere would enjoy a bright, moonlit night. But during the middle 1800s, along the east coast of the United States, there was a bunch of cutthroats who didn't like the moon at all. In fact, they cussed it because it was bad for business. So they were called Mooncussers. On this program, which is titled Graveyard of Ships, we're bringing you the first chapter of a two-part story about the shoreline pirates.
A band of pirates on the land no longer sail the sea, but they sank a fleet of merchantmen with cutthroat treachery. The Mooncussers cussed the moon when it was shining bright, 'cause the Mooncussers' dirty work could only be done on a black and moonless night. They lit false beacons on the shore, luring ships to grief, then took their plunder from the wrecks abandoned on the reef. The Mooncussers cussed the moon when it was shining bright, 'cause the Mooncussers' dirty work could only be done on a black and moonless night. Contact light out the port speed! Bear 2 degrees to port! She's heading in!
put things in. Jonathan, blankets.
Yeah, Mom.
And bandages. Medicines. Wrap. All right. Put it here. Thank you.
This is real beautiful, Miss Feather. Real genuine silk. I'll swap you the bolt for that barrel of molasses.
Now, Mr. Mose, don't you try to take advantage of me. Silk's nice, but a barrel of molasses is mighty valuable.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you the both pesos for that lasses.
All right. It's a bargain.
Put it down. All of you. That's my cargo. Now put it down. Go stick your head in a barrel of sand. You dirty sand pirates! You bring those things back. And you, madam, I'll take...
Poor fella, he don't realize how sick he is.
Are you the mate, sir?
Aye, lad. First mate your ass hawk off the Jubilee. Or so I was. Till them dirty, rotten Mooncussers beached us. And I'd give up all me hopes for the fiddler's green. If I could get me hands about them devil's throats.
There's one good thing, sir. Mooncussers didn't get away with everything. Some of the stuff got away from them, washed up on shore.
Aye, lad. A great comfort that must be to the captain. Like slipping out of the jaws of a shark to be gobbled up in the land crab. Now, lad, if you'll heist me up, hey?
Yes, sir. This way, sir. Like some more tea, Captain?
Montauk Light. All right, men. Now listen to me. We'll stay here until morning. Then you'll have to make your way back to New York the best way you can. All right. You'll all be paid off in full at the home office of the Howlett Shipping Lines. That's all. What we gonna do?
Old Howlett, get one look either of us. Wind up on a yard arm.
More than 10 years, though. Maybe you wouldn't recognize us.
He ain't gonna forget us, not in 100 years.
How do we get our pay?
You just cut your jib. Leave me chart the course.
After all, Captain, you're not the first one to lose a ship to the Mooncussers. I imagine they all felt just as bad as you do.
Madam, nobody could feel as badly as I do. Unless they had to face old E.P. Hallett and tell him that they had just lost one of his ships.
Your mate thought it was Montauk. What? Where were you, Captain Weeks?
I wasn't feeling well.
All right. Go on, Captain.
Now, here's where the Mooncussers set up their light. Somewhere's in here. And here's where he turned and hit the reef. They took us over to a little place on the inlet, Feather's Wharf.
That's almost the identical spot where we lost the Angie Olsen last spring. I can't believe it. All right. Let's talk to the mate. Get him in here.
That's what I wanted to tell you. He's still down there at Feather's Wharf.
He's still down there.
No, Father.
Well, he didn't feel able to travel. He took quite a beating in the surf. He wanted to know if you would send his pay down there to him.
Work all your life. Try to build up something. This is what comes of it.
Who was your mate?
Uriah's Hawk. Signed him on in Charleston along with this friend of his, Bill Stacy. They're both down there together at Feather's Wharf.
All right, go fill out your report.
Yes, sir.
Captain Weeks.
Captain Talbot.
Dan? I hate to welcome you home with news like this. But you might as well know the whole situation.
It's incredible.
There's one thing more. The Portland is at sea, bound from the Indies for New London. If she winds up in that graveyard, we'll be wiped out. Finished. Bankrupt.
That's a fine situation. Pirates right on our own coast. Why isn't something done?
It's up to us, Dan.
Us?
I want you to go down there to this Feather's Wharf. Nose around and find out who these pirates are.
Hey, Dad, I'm sailing Monday.
You're not sailing, you're riding. And the sooner you get started, the better. And if the Portland passes that point at night, you make sure there's no signal light to pile her up on that reef.
Well, what's the matter with the law? Surely the government can do something to stop them.
Dan, we've begged, we've pleaded. They say it would take the entire militia. And even then, there'd be whole areas that they... We can't wait, Dan. You've got to go down there and protect our interests.
Guess we're not left with much choice.
And Captain Hawk, it was in them days, me lad. I had my own ship.
Gee, Willikers.
And I'll have my own ship again one day. You can mark me word on that. You like to sign on, lad? If I was to need a cabin boy, hey?
Oh, yes, sir. I'd like that more than anything else in the whole world. Of course, Mom might not let me go till I get a little older.
I've been 3 times across and once gone under before I was the size of you.
I guess it's because all the shipwrecks along here and everything, and the Mooncussers. It's got Ma kind of scared.
How many ships been lost? Rockaway to Montauk, eh?
I don't rightly know, but I heard Mr. Henry say that Mooncussers got off with $1 million worth of cargo in the last 6 months.
Captain? Captain?
Why don't you go, lad? See who he is, what he wants, eh?
Yes, sir.
I'll sure be glad if they ever send our pay so that we can get out of here.
Did you not listen to the lad? The Mooncussers have grabbed up $1 million worth of cargo in the past 6 months. And I'm thinking to myself, why should we run off from an opportunity like that, eh?
You mean an opportunity. I thought that...
Aye? Unless you can think of some quicker way to make a fortune, eh?
Morning, sir.
Morning, young man.
You looking for somebody?
This building with a sign on it wouldn't by any chance be Feather's Nest Inn, would it?
Yes, sir. Sure a pretty horse. Want me to rub him down for you?
Kind of a mean one. He bites.
Oh,
You don't suppose they'd have a room in there for me, do you?
you gonna be staying here?
Well, provided the quarters are adequate and food is tolerable. There are other guests, I presume.
There's Bill Stacy and Mr. Hawk. They're both off in the Jubilee that went down. There they are.
Maybe I better talk to them first and see how they like the food.
My ma's the best cook in Long Island.
Mr. Hawk!
not mean, are you? You don't even got a mean bone in your whole body.
My, it's an awful lot of horse there. My, he's a mean-looking critter. Go!
You get around a good, smart horse, and you gotta watch out what you say.
You better watch out for him yourself. I'll have nothing to do with that black devil. Nothing to do with him at all. Idea. I've never bitten a horse in my life.
That's all right, fella.
And here's the money you had coming.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Hallett. Sure needed this.
And your pa. He'll be coming along, too?
I'm down here by myself. But I'll give you my word on one thing, Mr. Hawk. You're gonna see some of those Mooncussers hanging from a yardarm before another moon rolls around.
Well, he ain't easy finding out who they are.
But I figure they haven't had time to get rid of the cargo from the Jubilee. Now, we find out where they've hidden that. We're gonna catch them in their own trap.
Aye, lad. I see your point.
So far as I'm concerned, everybody's under suspicion. Except you two, of course. That's why I don't want anybody to know who I am or what I'm doing here.
You can depend on us. We'll not tell.
I'm gonna ask you to stay around for another week or so. You'll still be on the payroll.
What would you be expecting us to do?
We have the Portland coming up the coast. It's gonna be up to us to see that the Mooncussers don't get her on the reef.
Whatever you want us to do, just leave us know.
Thanks. I'll see you later and tell you exactly what I want you to do.
We better find out who the Mooncussers are before he does. If we're gonna join them, we got to find them, eh?
He ain't gonna do us no good. I'd say get rid of him.
Ah, he ain't no frostbiter. He's E.P. Hallett's son. Bash in his head, they turned this here beach upside down. Both of us be hanging by our thumbs of what they got through. $1 million in 6 months. With that kind of bait floating around, I wonder if they ain't some of our old friends what smelled it ahead of us.
Now that's a sight I never expected to see.
Sure is a good horse.
You know there's only 3 people in the world Ebony's ever warmed up to? My father, me, now you.
Gosh, is that his name, Ebony?
Yep.
That's a funny name for a horse. Ebony. We call her Sartorius. I'll tell him why you're here.
Wait a minute. Unusual organ you have here. Had it long?
Oh, this come off the Angie Olsen when she went down last spring.
This off the Angie Olsen, too?
No, that come off the Briscoe when she went down 3 years ago Christmas.
Must have been quite a Christmas.
Never was a Christmas like that. 2 whole crates of oranges. Ma just let me help myself. Didn't even have to ask. And there was coffee and corned beef and all sorts of materials for making shirts and dresses. Of course, not silk, though.
Nothing like a good shipwreck to spread prosperity. Must be a lot of other things you have around.
Oh, I guess me and Ma and Betsy is just about as good as anybody when it comes to hooking stuff out of the water.
I'll bet nobody on the beach has any more nice things than you have. Probably you're the first ones there, huh? When a ship goes aground.
Oh, take like the Hawaiian lady. When she went down, wasn't nobody there ahead of us. Pa was the first one that seen her. He come running up the beach, a-hollering and a-screaming.
Carrying a big light, was he?
Well, I don't know about that. It was a long time ago. I guess I really don't remember. I just hear Ma talk about it.
Young man, if you have questions to ask, I think you might bypass children and talk to grown-ups.
Well, actually,
As for the night the Hawaiian lady went down, I happen to remember that night very well.
All right, I'll give you a question. Did the captain say anything about the Mooncussers luring him off course?
The captain went down with his ship.
I don't suppose that spoils the fun, though, does it? A few bodies floating around while you're grabbing up everything you can get your hands on and dragging it home.
Get out. Get out!
What was on the Hawaiian lady? Why are you all so touchy about it? Something you gotta keep hidden?
Get out!
Stay tuned. Walt Disney Presents will be right back.
We now pause for breaking news.
It's an all-dog alert.
Cruella DeVille has been seen in the vicinity of Disney Channel. All puppies be on the lookout.
Have you heard the news? Disney Channel's rolling out the black and white carpet for the Disney animated classic 101 Dalmatians, complete with Pongo, Purdy, the puppies, and of course one of Disney's most mischievous villains. So be on the lookout and don't miss the Disney animated classic 101 Dalmatians tonight at 7, 6 Central, followed by The Legend of Pirates Point, only on Disney.
When I was a little girl, a teacher gave me an important gift. She opened my eyes to the love of learning. To inspire learning today, many teachers turn to Cable in the Classroom. For 10 years, Cable has helped teachers teach by donating technology to schools. With commercial-free educational programs and internet support, Cable in the Classroom helps teachers help kids. In my eyes, that's a powerful gift.
Cable in the Classroom is a public service of Disney Channel and your local cable company.
Introducing M2M and BB Mac in their first ever Disney in-concert special.
Feels a bit like Norway here.
That's it. One for all. Get all the scoop.
Oh, really?
When you go behind the scenes.
I'm gonna drop it.
And backstage. So catch the Saturday premiere.
I highly recommend it.
M2M and BB Mac in concert.
All right, let's go. Let's see you later.
Saturday at 7:30, 6:30 Central, part of Zoog Weekends.
Tonight on Disney.
Raise the Jolly Roger!
Yo ho ho! Prepare to set sail in the Legend of Pirates Point. One kid's imagination.
Swear to protect the treasure with your life? I swear.
Sends Ray and his friends back to the swashbuckling days of the Buccaneers. But they're not the only ones in search of lost treasure.
Time to walk the plank, mate.
It's the Legend of Pirates Point, tonight at 8:25, 7:25 Central, right after 101 Dalmatians on Disney.
And now, back to Walt Disney Presents, right here on Disney.
Jonathan, there's somebody down in the cellar.
Did you tell Mom?
She's getting something on. Hurry.
Somebody sure been down here, all right.
Just put up your hands and come out wherever you are. I've got a gun and I know how to use it.
Wait for me.
Well.
Gee willikers, what's he doing down here?
My goodness. He's bleeding.
I still don't see what he was doing down here.
Well, anyhow, you didn't have to throw so hard.
Look, I'm no burglar. Can ask Mr. Hawk and Mr. Stacy. They'll vouch for me.
Then what was you doing in our cellar?
I might as well tell you, I guess. I'm Dan Hallett of Hallett Shipping Lines. We've lost 2 of our ships here, not more than a few months apart. First it was the Angie Olsen, and now the Jubilee.
Go on.
Well, I'm down here to dig out the men responsible for it and see that it doesn't happen again.
And you expected to find these men down in our cellar?
Well, no. I was looking for salvage cargo.
Figured something like that. Questions you were asking Jonathan this morning? Might as well give him back his gun.
Don't you think I had a right to be a little suspicious?
Suspicious?
All these things, some off our own ships, just conveniently washed in by the tide.
The sea is likened unto the Lord, Mr. Hallett. It giveth, and it taketh away. Better stir up the fire, Jonathan. I'll put the coffee pot on.
Sorry I hit you so hard.
I'll leave it there. It feels good. It giveth and it taketh away. The trouble is, it giveth to the Mooncussers and those who grab up the salvage, and it taketh away from those who own the ships.
That's not always true, Mr. Hallett. My father gave up his life trying to get a line out to the Hawaiian lady to help her passengers to shore.
I know it doesn't mean much to tell you that I'm sorry.
That's all right. You didn't know.
We've a lot of rooms here. I think you just better spend the night.
That's what I came for earlier, to see about a place to stay, till somebody ordered me off the premises.
Jonathan will bring you some coffee. In your room.
Would be a blessing when I gets me next ship to have a cabin boy as quick and as smart as you appears to be.
And I'm a pretty good worker, too, sir.
Yeah, and with a quick eye, I'll wager. Not a lad to forget things right off, eh?
No, sir, not at all.
I'll give you a little test. Do you recall ever seeing in these parts a man with his left ear gone and the scar clean across his left cheek, eh?
No, sir. And I'm sure I wouldn't forget that.
How's about a man with a crippled hand and he sort of drags 1 foot when he walks, hey?
No, sir, there's no one around here like that. Not that I've ever seen.
Do you recall a big fat man with a tattoo of a serpent's head on his hand?
Oh, you mean Mr. Wick, that rents a fishery.
Now, let's see how observant you are. Did you ever notice anything peculiar about his mouth?
Oh, you mean all the silver teeth?
Aye, you're a good, smart lad with a good eye and a good brain in your head.
I know quite a bit about ships, too.
Do you think you could take a message to this here Mr. Wick? Tell him there's an old friend who'd like very much to see him.
Yes, sir.
You might just show him this. Case he don't recollect the name.
Gee willikers.
Take care you don't lose it, eh?
Yes, sir. I'll finish with you when I get back. Just be patient.
Sure sounds like old Pinch got her.
Yeah, with maybe some of our other friends off in the Julia, eh?
You know what I'm here for? To stop the Mooncussers and put an end to all that thieving piracy.
Yes, sir.
And I'll be out most every night riding the beach, watching for a signal light. I'll have to catch a little sleep each day. So I want to ask you something, Jonathan.
Sure, go ahead.
How would you like to work for me?
Doing what?
Well, if you should happen to see anything suspicious, just let me know. And most of all, I'd like to know if the Portland passes safely in daylight.
Well, sure. If I happen to see anything, I'll let you know.
And I figure as long as you're going to be my partner, there may be times when you're going to want a good fast horse. You better practice riding Ebony.
You mean it? Really? Let me ride him down the fishery. I have to run an errand. Please?
Sure, go ahead.
Gee willikers! Thanks! Oh, well, I better get started.
I'll help you.
Come on, Ebony. Dan's gonna let me ride you. Come on, boy.
You two men, get out and load that wagon. Now, go on, boy. I don't know any of your ass hawk. You tell him I have other things to do.
He told me to show you this.
I remember it now. Now, you tell him I'll come.
And I was saying to Stacy just yesterday, them was the good old days. My own ship, and as hardy a crew of cutthroats as ever scrambled for gold. Do seem like you'd be a mite more happy about meeting your old shipmates after all these years, eh?
Well, I am. I'm happy.
I gives you credit. And I've said it before. You always was more smart than you was likable.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
What's the things you need to operate as Mooncussers, eh? Small boats, so you can get out to a sinking ship and rip off the cargo before she goes under. You need a warehouse to store goods in till you got a buyer. You need some excuse to be a shipping staff out, eh?
You're just imagining things.
Who's going to be asking questions if you ships out barrels and cakes from a fishery? Eh? You got the boats? You got the warehouse?
Well, I'm an honest man now.
What is it you want?
It ain't a question of what we want, Mr. Wick. We are old friends. We come along to help you.
I can imagine.
It ain't like we was joining up without nothing to contribute. Any kind of luck at all, we can pick off the Portland. Full cargo from the Indies.
We got inside information.
Isn't going to be like it was before, though. I want that understood. I'm in charge now. I'm giving the orders.
Aye, we agrees to that, right? You gives the orders. But I tell you what orders to give, eh?
Howdy.
You ain't seen the Portland go by yet, have you?
No, I got better things to do than to watch for ships. Say, don't that young Hallett ever ride that black devil no more?
He had to go into Sag Harbor today. Took the stage.
It seems every time I look up in the last few days, I see you gallivanting down to the beach on that horse.
Mr. Mose?
Yeah?
You ain't got any idea who any of the Mooncussers are, do ya?
See here, young man. I don't know nothing, and I don't want to know nothing.
How do you figure they set up their light? Make it blink.
Now, you listen, Jonathan Feather. It ain't healthy for you to go around asking questions like that. Now, you forget about it. You hear me?
Well, what could it hurt, just asking you?
Do you recollect that young Dave Kelp? Well, he was around here asking questions, and I told him the same as I'm telling you. But he wouldn't listen. 2 days later, they found his body floating in the surf.
Well, I guess I better be getting on.
Mark what I told you.
Bye, Mr. Mose.
Goodbye, Jonathan.
Evening, Dan.
Find out anything inside?
Whaling ships in and out. Men in town today, gone tomorrow. There's no way to check on all of them.
Send Stacy down to Chinnecock. Just see if he could learn anything.
You're late. I kept your supper warm in the back of the stove.
I didn't see Ebony. Isn't Jonathan back yet?
Oh, Jonathan's been here a couple times, but he left again when he found you weren't here.
I suppose he didn't see any sign of the Portland today.
I'm sure he would have said something.
If she isn't here by now, I don't know. Surely can't be much longer.
Soup's getting cold.
Gee, many willikers. Mooncussers. Come on, boy. Dan, quick, Mooncussers! Dan, quick, Mooncussers! Down on King's Cove. I'll be right back.
Mr. Hawk, grab a horse. Mose, Henry, you men, come on.
Wait for me! I gotta get Sertorius!
Jonathan, stay here. Liable to be bullets flying.
Dan! Dan!
Mose, I'll meet you down the beach just in case there's a ship aground.
Mr. Mose, you gotta help them. There's only 2 of them against all those Mooncussers.
Now, if they want to go and have themselves shot full of holes, that's up to them, not me.
I'll go ahead. You come as fast as you can.
Come on, Sertorius, you can go faster than that.
Stay tuned. Walt Disney Presents will be right back.
Disney Channel Original Movies.
This one's good.
Yes. What?
Talking to me?
You become a dog.
Oh, I'm a fish.
Take my hand.
Look for a new Disney Channel original movie every month on Disney.
Stellar.
All the Disney best from A to Z. Just look inside the vault. Vault Disney. Bambi. Chip and Dale. Dopey. Excitement. Fred McMurray. Goofy. Hardy Boys. Imagination. Julie Andrews. Kisses. Leslie Ann Warren. Mickey Mouse. Neverland. Ogres. Pinocchio. Quacks. Romance. Spin and Marty. Toys. Umbrellas. Vintage. Walt Disney. Xylophones. Youth. Zorro. From start to finish, top to bottom, from A to Z, Walt Disney bringing you all the Disney best. Tonight at midnight.
His mom is Warrior Woman. His brother is Silver Charge. His dad is Bronze Eagle. And he's Scott. Tomorrow at 8:40 Central, one kid will learn.
You want him to be a superhero just as much as I do.
That in this super family,
Can't fly.
your greatest power is just being yourself. Up, up, and away.
You're not gonna let go, are you?
A Disney Channel original movie. Tomorrow at 8:40, 7:40 Central, right after Rip Girls.
That's your mom's? My mom drives a hatchback.
Only on Disney.
And now, back to Walt Disney Presents, right here on Disney.
Mind what I tells you. Give the crew time to get off before you scrambles aboard, unless it then takes too long. Hey? Even when I tries to teach you, you ain't smart enough to learn. Might seem a bit odd, huh? We leaves together, but I comes back hale and hearty when they find his body in the surf. Get going now before he comes to and sees you.
I don't understand what you have in mind.
Ain't nobody going to ask me questions. Even when he comes to, the lad finds me tied up alongside him.
I don't like it. Every time we try to get too smart,
If there's any little thing goes wrong, we can take care of him good as you.
Man on, she's boat. All right.
Come on, Sartorius. You can go faster than that. Come on, boy.
Ahoy the deck! Right off her port bow! There she is! On taut light! Ease her up to port!
She's coming about. Heading toward the reef as pretty as you please.
Shh. Now don't you make no noise now. Remember.
I blames myself for not riding off. As soon as I seen they had taken you, could have maybe got some help.
I'm sorry I ever got you into this mess.
He probably figures to give us the deep six before the night's over. But that input worries me. It's them poor folks out there and that their ship.
There could be women and children aboard.
Aye, and he keeps thinking to myself, if I was still loose, there's maybe something I could do to douse the fire before she goes aground.
You did your best. Nobody can do more than that.
Meeting. I don't care so much what you does to me, but if you was to let young Hallett go, I'm sure his pa would make it up to you.
You shut up or I'll bash your brains in.
She goes.
Keep working the light.
Run, get out of here.
Lay off. Get out of here, boy. Get on, get out of here. Oh! 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 No, boy, no! Hey, boy, quit picking on me now. Quit picking on me.
Steady as she goes.
Go! Go! Oh! Oh!
I'll talk. You've heard Captain Hawk.
Mr. Hawk, why'd you shoot him? They're the Mooncussing devils. Wish I could do that to the lot of them.
Ahoy the deck! Look! Hard to starboard! son.
Your move, Mr. Henry.
Sure was brave of you, Mr. Hawk. Not to ride off when you'd seen that the Mooncussers had jumped down.
Well, I can tell you truthful, lad. It seemed like the right thing to do at the time.
I suppose now that the Portland's safe, you'll be leaving us.
The only thing is, I got a letter from my father. He's on his way down here. Should arrive tomorrow. Guess I better wait till he gets here. Now, don't you mention to Mr. Hawk. I want it to be a surprise. I'm sure my father will want to give him some kind of reward.
No matter what your pa does for him, Mr. Hawk sure deserves it.
Along the East Coast, piracy had reached the point where merchant shipping could not survive unless the bloodthirsty band was broken up. And all this adds up to an exciting climax next week when we bring you the final chapter in our adventure with the Mooncussers.
Ooh-ah, ooh-ah, the Mooncussers cussed the moon when it was shining bright. 'Cause the Mooncussers' dirty work could only be done on a black and moonless night.
Confound it, Senator. If these Mooncussers operated out of some foreign port and sank American ships, you'd waste no time at all. You'd declare a state of war.
Catherine Kay, small two-sticker. But she's carrying an uncommon amount of gold. Lesson she's dragging, lad, she ought to be here for daylight.
With time running out, the Mooncussers begin a desperate campaign to control coastal shipping lanes. And Jonathan discovers he has entered into a race for his life.
I guess I better be going now. I told him.
Oh, no, you don't. He knows.
And if he don't, you're gonna make sure of it.
Mr. Henry, Moss, quick, round up everybody you can get.
It's Jonathan, isn't it?
The Mooncussers got him.
We can divide fast and scatter fast, because we'll never have another chance after tonight. What about him? Well, we shouldn't try to be too smart this time. Just throw him in the drink.
Riders coming. Down the beach must be a 100 of them riding like crazy.
Close that door! Put boxes in front of it! Barricade the windows! Get to your guns before the ambulance!
Don't miss all the excitement when the Mooncussers really find something to cuss about. Next week, in the action-packed conclusion of The Mooncussers on Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color.